Hello. Hello, everyone. Let's see. I presume we are live. Double check. Whoops. So how is everyone doing? Did everyone have a exciting week? I know I did. It it was a lot. I'll leave it at that. Um just double checking something. So I thought maybe we can actually sit down, relax, and not only talk about horrible things before things get insane again, because I'm telling you right now, probably nothing will happen over the next couple days. And I was thinking about that. I was like, I can finally relax. I can finally relax. We can take a deep breath. It's a holiday weekend in the States. So today we have off, tomorrow and Monday. So I doubt anything's going to happen. Um, of course, if you have any questions, do like and subscribe and let me know. So it's just me today. Mark actually has his own show, and that is starting at I think he starts at 1 p.m. Eastern. So you guys should take a look at that on Twitch. He's just Twitch TV dot was it twitch.tv/arcane mark is where you can find him. So I thought it would be nice just to not talk about horrible things for just a little while. So I'm actually going to take a couple days off. So I'm actually going to I'm actually not going to be completely reachable. I'm actually going somewhere. So I figured, I'll do a quick stream and just see how people feel. I got my beverage, which is water. Well, it's not really water here. It's actually lemonade. I got my little old lemonade. Everyone should do the same. Just get a beverage of some sort. Make my little lemonade here and relax. So, if you guys have any comments or questions, we can talk about any aspect of anything you want. 16-hour shift. Yeah, I had a 16-hour shift yesterday. The other thing is I don't sleep that much to begin with, but I've been going to sleep at 2 and getting up at 7, which is pretty much what I do. But it's I actually got up early and got some actual work done. But I figured, because I was looking at everyone's news, and I'm actually finally like, I don't have to worry about like something dropping and going crazy. So there you go. I also updated the Battlezoo store, because I didn't realize we didn't have PayPal or Amazon payments working, because people from overseas were asking if I can get that to work so that we could make it easier for them to order. And as soon as I did that, a whole bunch of orders came in. So if you're interested and overseas and you didn't have a credit card, because I didn't realize how many people didn't have credit cards overseas. So yeah, you can order anything you want at battlezoo.com. And we have a lot of products on there, but a lot of them are free, but a vast majority of them are still coming. The Year of Monsters actually is out, and that will come all year, and that will be really 13 books over the course of a year. And you'll be able to help like with us design and develop them as well. The one thing we do here at Battlezoo is we release the PDFs as soon as they're done, and that allows us to make updates and changes. That's why if you see our PDFs, they might have version 3 or 4 or 5 on them, because I continuously modify and change them. Like if we find that there's a misprint, or something that just needs to be fixed, that way we fix it, update the PDF, and then the hardcover book will be up to date. And so far, all of our hardcover books have not just gone through playtesting, but they've actually also gone through, like your playtesting, because once we get it out. So Leith says, how are you feeling about the Year of Monsters at the first Ancestry coming out? Going as expected? Yeah. We have almost all of them done. We have all the art done. All the art is complete. We have the templating done for the layout, and we have the templating done for Foundry. That actually was the hardest part, is Foundry, because we're doing something no one's ever done. I got all the tokens working. We got everything. So that is ready to go. Mark is finishing up the last couple of ancestries. He was finishing up demons yesterday, and we have a couple more left next month. So we have slimes out now, and then doppelgangers is next month. Actually, those were number 1 and 2. So that was the top 2 requested ancestry. So I figured I'd start it out with a bang and give you guys what you want. I think the number 2 or 3 was also in there, but I can't give you all of them. So we will space them out over the course of the year. And the nice thing is that if you have any suggestions, because what we're going to do is we're going to release a single book with both extended versions of these ancestries, because some of them in the Kickstarter over the summer got stretch goals to make them bigger. I think like Gremlins was. So we're going to put out now a version of Gremlins that's like 12, 14 pages long for the ancestry or race or species. And then we're going to expand it, and we'll make it like 20 pages. Like our biggest ancestry of all time race is obviously dragons, and that is a single ancestry or race that's 124 pages long. That's this one. So that is 120 pages. So for us to make a single ancestry or race, 20 pages or even 40 pages is really not a big deal. And we put a ton of lore. We make it so that you can play these 10 times. What my goal is as publishers, I always say, look, if there's a party of 4 slimes or doppelgangers, that they should all be different. Okay, that's the big thing. And yeah, for those of you who want, I put up a free version of the adventure path yesterday on the store. So we have an adventure path. It's Jewel of the Indigo Isle, and it is written by 3 luminaries. I designed it and edited it, and then it was written by 3 of the top adventure path writers in the world. In fact, those who don't know, Patrick Rini, there was 2 people at Paizo who ran the adventure paths, and that was Ron Lundeen and Patrick Rini. Both of them wrote the first and second adventures, and then the last adventure is run by Linda Zayas Palmer. Linda Zayas Palmer does all the Pathfinder and Starfinder Society adventures. So we have 3 people whose entire full-time job is writing, developing, and editing adventures. They have insane pedigree, and both Patrick and Ron now work for WotC. And leave them alone. They had nothing to do with any of this stuff, trust me. So anyhow, and then I came up with the story, and I made it so that it's one story. It goes from level 1 to 11, and it's one freaking story. And yikes, no one does this, and now I know why, because oh my god, was that hard. Yeah, don't do that ever again. And it's all interconnected. That's the thing. It's like things that happen in the first chapter will come back in later chapters and even the final chapter. It's all like this one big beautiful mesh, and no one does this, and I found out the hard way why. And but anyhow, my pain is your gain, so there you go. And here's where you can get the free first chapter. So we put out the first chapter for free, so you can just download it and play it, and it's awesome. And on top of that, people ask, like, how does it end? It ends, if you want to just play levels, just level 1, it just ends, and you can stop. If you want, you can even use it as an adventure hook for yourself and then like take it from there. Or if you want to buy the full adventure, you can use it and keep going. So it's comes with a whole gazetteer of an entire town. It comes with magic items, monsters, feats, tons of stuff. I mean, it's huge. So, and it's free. I mean, what more? It's free. There you go. I will say, if you're going to play it, don't read it if you're a player, because it will spoil like everything. So I would say that, because the first adventure, the first 4 chapters of the full adventure is like a slow build. So anyhow, yeah, if you have any questions, let's see. Everyone's we're just relaxing. We're just changing it. I see people here. So yeah, people orc, all that stuff. Are we gonna be okay? You know what? Yeah, I think we are, and I'll tell you why. I've been talking to nothing but lawyers. We had two lawyers on our show. We had Bob Tarantino yesterday, who's an IP attorney. We had Ron Dancy on our show, who wrote the OGL. Sorry, Ryan Dancy, who wrote the OGL. We had Alan Bushlow, my contract attorney, on it. I've been talking to other attorneys. I've been talking to other developers. I've been talking to other developers' attorneys. Every single one of them, every single one, not a single one doesn't think that it's going to be okay. Now, at the same time, I do think this is going to be a fight and it is going to be a battle, but you can't be fighting all the time. You're going to get exhausted. So you need to find times to rest and relax, and this is one of them during a long holiday break. So and so that's what I'm saying is, like, I do think we're going to be okay in the long run. And the funny thing is, and I never really thought about this, Bob Tarantino said this yesterday, it's like, we've been through this before. We went through this when 4th edition came out. And actually, we went through this before when, you know, D&D was dying. So this is now the 3rd time we're going to go through this. And this time we're a lot more organized, and we're a lot more, you know, we're all together on this. Like, the hobby has grown tremendously, and everyone, what I think they didn't realize, there's a lot of things I didn't realize, that they didn't realize, is I've seen this before, my day job. So for 35 years, I build mostly Fortune 500 websites and also other technology things. I say websites. My wife yells at me. She's like, it's like, you do more than websites. I'm like, yes, I know. We do. I say websites because I do a lot of websites, but we do anything technology related. We build internal systems. We build SaaS systems. We build kiosks, trade shows, anything technology related. The point is, I've been working with Fortune 500 companies my entire life. And I'm used to, and not only do I work on Fortune 500 companies, I'm not trying to brag here, I swear to God, I'm just giving you my background. I promise you, it's not a humble brag, but when I work on, for example, I did the Citibank website. When I was working on the Citibank website, the people who were in those rooms were like the CEO and president of Citibank. These weren't like, you know, you weren't working with product managers. I was working with literally the people who run these companies, because at that level, they want to make sure it looks good and they want their word name. So they want their words, you know, they want their voice to be heard. So when all this happened, I really wasn't that fazed by it. I've worked with companies. I don't think I've worked with Hasbro. Ironically, I used to live across the street from them, and I used to see them all the time, but in Manhattan. But I worked with these 500 companies, and I'll be honest, I'm not that worried. I'm really not. I think they're overplaying their hand. I do not think they understand what's in the OGL. I think they had yes people telling them what they wanted. I've been in these meetings. I've been in meetings of this level where if they do not hear what they want to hear, they just don't talk to those people anymore. Like, they literally you will no longer be invited to those meetings. So I have a feeling that is what happened. I have a feeling that these were people who are not part of gaming culture. And if you're not part of the gaming culture and you're just coming from, you know, technology, you're using what you know and trying to apply it to a very different field. And again, I've seen that a lot because I work mostly in the pharmaceutical space. And in the pharmaceutical space, you have to know what you're doing. You just do. So anyhow, that's why I think it's going to be okay. I really do. I think they overplayed their hand. I think they don't understand the people in the industry, and they being the people who are making these decisions. They being the suits and the corps that are making these decisions. And I've seen this before. We made a lot of predictions in past videos that turned out to be correct. And all I did was just use my knowledge of working with these companies for 35 years. I've seen this 1,000 times. And that's why I really think we'll be okay. I really do. And I do think we still have to fight. If you have a D&D Beyond, you have to cancel it. You have to. Okay? That's the only way they're going to. They do not care about you. They just do not. It's that simple. So what you have to do is cancel your subscriptions. Okay? So like and subscribe, of course, everyone, because I do these. I never give any notice when I do videos. So the only way you're going to find out is if you subscribe and turn on the bell. That's it. So yeah, I see a lot of people thanking me. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Like, look, this is a game I love. This is a hobby I love. Everyone loves this hobby. And I was saying, it's like, and I made this analogy before, like, everyone's had their favorite restaurant, like, close. And when that happens, it sucks. I hate when that happens. I hate when restaurants close and that these are, like something. This is people's lifestyle. Okay. This is their lifestyle. This is their brand. This is something that defines who they are. And when people start messing with that, that is why people like us have gone insane, because they're not messing with one game. If it was one thing, like they were saying they were coming out with 6th edition Dungeons and Dragons, fine. But that's not what they're doing. They're saying we're coming out with 6th edition Dungeons and Dragons and no one else can play with us. No one can be on our playground. No one can play with us in the RPG space. And that is why people went insane, because it's like, well, that's a major part of my life. I have friends who play role-playing games 6 days a week. Like, no joke. Rob Tremarco, who's on our show, he plays every day. Every single day. Every single night. He plays a role-playing game. And if this affects him, and he subscribed to D&D Beyond. He loves D&D Beyond. He was one of the, like, first people, I forget, you get, like, special accolades and plaques if you signed up. And he was so pissed, he canceled. And he said, he gave a great quote, but he was, how dare they? How dare Hasbro have the gumption to push us around like this? And he canceled. And if he cancels, you can cancel. And I promise you, I've worked in professional companies like this for a long, long, long time. They only look at the numbers. That is it. You start canceling your subscriptions, they are going to notice. And more importantly, if you are a longtime subscriber, that will destroy them. I cannot emphasize this enough. I won't get into the math. I've gone through it in many of my past streams. There's this thing called cost of acquisition, which is how much it costs for you to actually get someone to subscribe. And then you want to keep them a certain amount of time to get your money back, because it often costs more money to get someone than to keep them. So once you subscribe for like a year or two, then it starts becoming profit. And those people are the people they want and love and retain. And also a lot of people just forget. When they start seeing people are canceling their D&D Beyond subscriptions, and you've been a subscriber for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, they will freak out. That is the only thing. We've gotten a lot of confirmation from a lot of people who said that they not only do they see people who play D&D an obstacle to their money, but they absolutely hate the community, and they absolutely hate Cobalt Press. They hate Paizo. They absolutely hate them. And now when I say they, this is not the developers. This is not the creatives. These are people who are looking at the money and seeing those companies as stealing their money. They see it as part of the pie, and they see that they are only getting 95% of the pie. And how dare those companies get the other 5%? How dare they? Oh, Let's see. Someone just texted me. Um, there we go. Up. Yep. Yeah, there was a big article on Gizmodo from Linda, who said that canceling D&D Beyond subscriptions forced Hasbro's hand. The bottom line seems to be after a fan-led campaign to cancel D&D Beyond subscriptions went viral, it sent a message to WotC and Hasbro higher-ups. According to multiple sources, those immediate financial consequences were the main thing that forced them to respond. The decision to further delay the rollout of the new open gaming license and then adjust the messaging around the rollout occurred because of provable impact on their bottom line. So right there, and I've been talking to Linda a lot these last couple of days. Feels like a year, but I've been talking to them quite a bit. And we have been chatting, and this is 100% true. Because they get these reports, and when they started to see that they were losing people, they immediately, I'll give you the link to the Gizmodo article, they immediately went into panic. They were in panic mode all along, but they went to super panic mode, and that's the only reason they were like, we are here to relax. We are. Look, I got my beverage. I'm gonna drink this is just lemonade. Yep, relaxing. We are relaxing. So, who wants to talk about any? You know what? What do you guys want to talk about? Anything you want. Anything geeky. You guys want to talk video games? You want to talk other things? Anything you want. I'm a huge video game player. I used to do a video game podcast called Gaming Steve before I did this. I also worked a lot with Blizzard. I was in the gaming industry. We have no idea how many people unsubscribed, but it was thousands. And again, it's not even the number. It's the core. Again, the people who are subscribers for the longest, that will freak them out. Okay, they have formulas that show how many people subscribe, and they know how many people every month will subscribe. Have I seen Doctor Who? Yes, I've seen all the Doctor Who's. I've seen here. Steven, what's your favorite monster from any franchise? I love the gelatinous cube quite a bit. When I was a kid, I just love. Did I read? That's my favorite, probably. I also actually like the gibbering mouther is also one of my favorites. But like those are some of my favorites. But of course, dragons. Have I read the article they put in D&D Beyond? I was here. I did a live stream and read it on the air as it came up. There you go. Do I like Starfinder? Yes, I did an actual play. Go to rollforcombat.com and check out the actual play of me playing Starfinder. We did all the way. We did Dead Suns from beginning to end. So yeah, I do like Starfinder, and you can check that out. Anyone enjoying playing Elden Ring? I did play Elden Ring. I'm kind of sick of Elden Ring, and I'm off of it for now. My biggest favorite game of all time probably is, there's a lot, but right now I would say God of War 2018. I've played through it twice. I just finished the Ragnarok. I loved it. I put it this way, I give Ragnarok a 10 out of 10, but I do see issues with it, but I still give it a 10 out of 10 as opposed to God of War 2018. I give 11 out of 10. Like, that thing is a freaking masterpiece. And as someone who worked in the game industry, and John Statz, who's on our podcast, who was the lead developer at World of Warcraft forever, and he and I were he watched it and saw it, and he couldn't believe it. If you're in the industry and you know how hard video games are and you see what they built, it is mind-boggling, and I appreciate it. To me, I rank my video games differently because I rank them based on not just how awesome they are, but also how difficult they are to make. And I saw that. I'm like, this is insane. It was impossible. They literally did impossible things with that video game. Let's see. What are good discords for finding Pathfinder 2 group? Ben Showman. Mine, we have a gigantic group. Discord.rollforcombat.com. We have over 3,000 people, and it's mostly Path. It's almost all Pathfinder. So you want to find a group, go there. You can play online games. You can find people. There's a couple of good places, but if you want, just start. Everyone's super friendly. I'm there. Mark's there, and we play about 95% Pathfinder. So I'd say actually closer to 99. But if you want to start Pathfinder, and Mark wrote the rules for Pathfinder, and I've DM'd about 500 games of Pathfinder. It's not a brag. That's true. We have over 500 episodes on Roll for Combat's podcast, so you can see. I mean, you can listen to me DMing. So let's see. Anyone interested in video games? Yeah, I'm actually very interested in the. Oh yeah, also Nonad1 is good. He's a good friend. Nonad1's really is the true. Also, Knights of Last Call. They are great as well. Those are the two I would also recommend. Yeah, Dead Sons was great. I really loved. And in our Dead Sons podcast, I got the authors from each book to come on the show and play an NPC. It was so much fun. And also, I'm not going to say anything, but the last fight in Dead Sons, it took 2 months. It took 2 months for one fight. 2 months of real time. That is an epic battle. And we had new magic items written by people at Paizo that was inserted into the game. And someone died in the game and kept playing, and no one knew. It's a crazy adventure, okay? Crazy. Oh, I preferred Dead Sons than Android and Aliens Run. Yeah, the Dead Sons last battle is freaking fantastic. One of my favorite of all time, actually. Let's see. I see a whole bunch of things. I got a question. Curtis, my friends still play Pathfinder First Edition, and none of them were impressed with Pathfinder Second. They still have all the 1E books, so it's difficult to persuade. Look, you're talking to someone who played 3.5 and then Pathfinder First Edition for 20 years. So we were just tired. I did Age of Worms. Age of Worms, greatest adventure path of all time, is a monster. A freaking monster of an adventure path. But after a while, it just gets a little samey. It's a little samey, and there's a lot of holes in 3.5, which is also why people like it. I get it. People like the big swings. But I will say, after playing it for 20 years, we were all agreed that we were sick of it. And we then started Starfinder, and we liked it because it was just a change of pace. And then we started Pathfinder Second Edition, and we've never gone back. And in 3 years of playing Pathfinder, I almost never have to come up with any house rules or modify anything. That is how freaking fantastic the system is. It's just that good. Now, because we call what's the math is tight, it's very hard to min-max characters in Pathfinder Second Edition. In fact, it's nearly impossible. And that's good and bad. The good of that is it makes it very easy to GM. It makes it very easy to build homebrew content and make it balanced. It's a very good system. But if you're looking to power game, Pathfinder is not your game. It just isn't. D&D is actually much better for that. D&D is a power gamer's wet dream. It's really good for that. So, but if you want to have balance and control and everyone feel like the hero and always have something to do, then that is what I would recommend. Age of Worms. Savage Tides is good too, but Age of Worms is a freaking masterpiece. I mean, dude, it's been out for 10 years. I'm going to give spoilers. You get the Hand of Vecna. You get the Rod of Seven Parts. You get to hang out with Tensor. I mean, you literally meet the Demi-Lich, not a Demi-Lich. Sorry, it's not Demi-Lich. You meet Oh wait, what was the name of the undead? The first undead monster you meet. Well, it's Tiamat's consort. You meet Tiamat's consort. I mean, the game. I can't even go into it. It's you fight in the city of Greyhawk Arena. Doppelgangers infiltrate your party. I mean, oh my god, is this thing a masterpiece? And it's and the first adventure, I'd say, which was written by Eric Mona, perhaps the best introductory first adventure ever written by far. A lot of people also agree that thing is an unbelievable masterpiece. Any experience with superhero RPGs? Any favorites? Yeah, we used to play Champions back in the day. I like Champions a lot. I never played Marvel, but Champions. I haven't played a superhero RPG in a long time, but I do love it quite a bit. And is there a similar setting in Pathfinder to Spelljammers that isn't Starfinder? Not yet. Okay. They probably will. What they do is the way Paizo works is that Paizo will often come out with an adventure path. They'll come out with 2 a year or 2. They'll come out with one in the first 6 months, the next 6 months. They'll come out with one regular adventure path, like kind of just a like one that's not out there, and then they'll come out with an adventure path that's a little out there. And so they're still going through the quote out there adventure paths. When they run out of things, they're going to get to the things like Spelljammer. So that's how they work, because I work with them. Let's see, Cheese of Ages. Long time ago, there was an MMO with the TV show that references game events. Do you think this would be a fun model for a TTRPG show? I know that show. What was it called? Like Renegade or Revenge? I forgot. I didn't play the MMO, but I actually watched the TV show. I kind of liked the show, but then it got canceled. And the problem is that TV is filmed so far ahead of time, it's impossible to coordinate. You know who also tried to do that? The Matrix. When they did The Matrix 2 and 3, it was a genius. Look up the history of The Matrix if you want to see something insane. The history of The Matrix 2 and 3, the Wachowski, now sisters, they tried to do something never attempted before, which is that they were going to tell the story of The Matrix 2 and 3 through 25 mediums. They were going to tell it through the movie, through video games, through comic books, through shorts, through novels. So it was going to take place over this period of time, but the movie was only going to show this part. And then if you wanted to see like this part here, you had to read the comic book. And if you wanted to see this part here, you had to play the video game. And you wanted this part here, you had to play the MMO. And so they had this concept of that if you did all these things, you can get the full story. And it was a great idea. The problem is it failed because no one wants to do that. Like a perfect example. So there's a part, I'm sure all of you have seen The Matrix, part 2. I forgot which one's Revolutions or which one's Reloaded, whatever. So it's like, I just say 2 and 3. Matrix part 2, remember they go into the power plant and they sabotage it, and then it blows up, and that's it. And that was it. They didn't show it. I was like, why didn't they show that? Well, I believe that was in the video game. So, like, the video game is where then you went into the power plant and sabotaged it. So that's what their goal was. And so people have tried this, and it's not succeeded. So I don't think it's going to happen again. So that's my answer to you, Cheese of Ages. Did I ever play Paranoia back in the 80s? Yes, of course I played Paranoia. Paranoia is fantastic. You have 6 clones running around. It was, I like games like Toon. I like games like Paranoia. I like games that are just goofy, that are crazy. So yeah, I love Paranoia. Do you think Pathfinder will move to 3E with new rules to cut out WotC? Nope, they're not, because they don't need to use the OGL, and they don't use the SRD. They actually don't need anything. They basically were only putting in the the OGL as a courtesy. They're not going to use it, and there's nothing they can do. They're like, look, you can't control the games, so there's no point. They're not going to. So So there's my answer. King Graham Johnson, what's a good way to break into editing writing for TTRPGs? Do you know if anyone is hiring at the moment, or how can you start your own publisher? Well, it's very easy. Okay, I'll tell you one way to break in is that we have something called the RPG Superstar Contest, and that is where you will submit a monster, and then it is voted on by the public, and then it is voted on and edited by professionals, and then the top winners get into our book, and you're paid. And a lot of these people who actually were published have started to go into this full time. If you get this book, it has everyone's name here, everyone who wrote and the monster, and then their prize. So like silver or bronze, and there's silver, bronze, gold, platinum, and grand prize. And Jewel of the Indigo Isle, every single monster in the Jewel of the Indigo Isle adventure path comes from the Battlezoo bestiary. Every single one, except for the new ones. That's it. Every single one. Excuse me, every single one. So that's one way. And if you go to rpgsuperstar.com, you can make monsters. And I would say start making monsters and submitting them to Reddits and see what people think. Monsters is where everyone breaks in. When I started to work and write for Paizo, they had me doing monsters. That's how I got in my first break. Is I did monsters for Starfinder, and then I did monsters for Pathfinder and Pathfinder 2nd Edition. So I've written a lot for them. And then from there, well, I just started my own publisher, but that's a long story. If you want to start your own publisher, though, the other thing you can do is just write and publish something and put it up on, well, D&D DM's Guild, but Pathfinder has Pathfinder Infinite, which is the exact same thing except for Pathfinder. So if you just want to write up a new ancestry or new magic items and you want to charge something or nothing, you can get it laid out. There's a lot of templates out there, and you can put it on Pathfinder Infinite. You can put anything up. Vanessa Hoskins writes fiction and writes books, and she got hired by Paizo. Okay, she's actually on my show. She's on the Roll for Combat show, and she started out as a freelancer, and she got work, and got more work, and then she started to publish her own stuff, and then she got hired. I mean, there's a lot of people hiring out there, and I would say in terms of difficultiness, the easiest thing to do is monsters, and you have to understand monsters. They will teach you a lot. There's a reason why we always start people in monsters. That's where you want to start. The main reason is because monsters have to fit 500 to 600 words, and you have to get the mechanics right, and you have to get the lore in such a small space. And if you can learn how to write a monster that's compelling and interesting in a very small space, then you'll learn how to write for role-playing games, and you'll learn how to write for TTRPGs in general. So that is why you got to start. I would say start with monsters. After that, it gets kind of more difficult. Ancestries are trickier, but guess what? Mark is going to do an Ask Me Anything on the Pathfinder 2E Reddit. So you can ask him questions about writing ancestries. They're much more difficult. And then the hardest thing by far is classes. Classes are really hard to write and balance. They are really hard. They're very easy to write. Very hard to balance, okay? They're extremely hard to balance. So that's something else. So there you go. You got your money's worth with that one. Let's see. Let's keep going. But I would say you just do it. When I was in the video game industry, people were like, how do I break in? I'm like, release mods and do it. Because if you say, for example, I'll give you an example. John Statz, he was the first 3D designer ever hired by Blizzard. He's one of my oldest friends. He's on the show. He's on the Roll for Combat show. He wanted to break into video games, so he would write Doom mods. He would put them out, and he wrote crazy mods, and he got really good at it. And then one day we're sitting in Manhattan and Blizzard contacted John and said, "We love your mods. Are you interested in talking to us about a job? Top secret." And he said, "Okay." And this was back in 2000. Yeah, it was 2000. And in 2000, and he said, "Okay." And then they flew him out there, and then they were telling him about World of Warcraft. And then he took the job. He flew out there. He moved out to California, and he never looked back. And he was the lead developer and designer on World of Warcraft. And he got the job because of the mods, and they called him. And that's what's going to happen. Is that if you then want to break in and work for like Cobalt or myself or any of the publishers, they're going to ask you. First thing we do is we see like, what have you written, and that's it. So you got to get out there. Sean Wolf, business question. Do you recommend incorporating before signing onto the orc once it releases? I'm going to try setting a book. Yes, incorporate. Do an LLC. I recommend this to everyone and anyone, all my friends. I have multiple companies myself, and I actually publish all my books, not through Roll from Combat. My actual parent company is Skyscraper Studios. That's the company I own. So I run everything through that. So you should get a parent company. You can do an LLC. I would actually recommend an S Corp, but it's very expensive and you probably don't need it. You do not need a C Corp. Forget about that. An LLC should be fine for 99% of the people out there. If you start getting bigger, you'll actually want an S Corp. So yeah, do set up a company. It also protects you legally. That is the main reason why you set up a company. Because if you publish a book and for whatever reason you get sued, they sue your company. They don't sue you. And they can only take what the company has. So if the company only has $1,000, they can sue you for $10 million. It doesn't matter because the company only has $1,000. All right, that's it. You win. There's my money and you're fine. So always, 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 always start a company and then publish through your company. Based on what we know of Orc, could someone publish a book, i.e. a campaign setting monster tome with stats for every system involved? Can we see source books compatible with the dozen systems? Yes. Owen Casey Stevens has his 52 in 50 campaign, which he never finished, but he was coming out with a stat block for 1 week for the year. Every one of these, he was going to come out with, for example, he'd come out with a monster. He was going to come out with the monster for first edition, second edition, Starfinder, and 5e. Okay? And he got halfway through it. So he did that. He came out with it. And our books are written, this is the 5e version. All of our books are written for 5e and Pathfinder. So we do everything in multiple systems. And I will tell you, if you're going to do that, start with Pathfinder. It's a heck of a lot easier to do Pathfinder and then convert it to 5e. Way more easier. Hero Forge, I'm just going through the questions. Oh, Defiance. Yeah, that was the name of the TV show. I'm like way behind you guys, so Defiance, yeah. The show was not bad. It's not bad, the TV show. Let's see. Just looking. It's funny, you guys seem to like do the super chats like once I get up to things. Gamma World, yep. Star Frontiers, yep. I played those too. Anti-Matrix, yep. That was one of the mini stories that told the story of people from mostly the third movie and just told you different points of view. I played Paranoid LARP, spent the entire time investigating my own murder. Yep. That's why Paranoid's cool, because you can have yourself killed because like one of your clones gets killed. There you go. Have you played the Owl Cat Pathfinder games? I'm playing the second one. I love 2.5D role-playing games like those. I played like Baldur's Gate 2 to death. I played all of the what is it called? I can't remember. The one in the winter one. Icewind Dale. I played all of Icewind Dale. I even played all the expansions. I freaking loved it. I did not play Kingmaker, but I did love. I do. I am having fun. It's just a lot. That's the problem. The Owl Cat games. How do I say it? It's too much. Like I'm like, oh my god. Like there's everything in there. Like literally everything. They have the kitchen sink approach. If I was doing the video game, the problem is that they literally put in too much. And for people with analysis paralysis or trying to like build, it's just you can't put in that much in my opinion. If I was building a video game, it's like you just can't. There's reasons why people don't do that. Now, hats off to Owlcat for doing that. I think they're insane. And the amount of work they put in is mind-boggling, but it's almost too much. I will get back into it, I promise. Top Secret better than Boot Hill. Yeah, Top Secret was great. So everyone keeps asking, can you? I've answered this 1,000 times, but I'll answer it again. Can you un-OGL a product? No, you cannot. Okay, you can't revoke the OGL 1.0a. You can't do any of that stuff. Okay, can't be done. Finished. Can I send you a copy of the item book I made through Discord to Dave? Sure. You guys can send it. I'll take a look. I mean, send it, but yeah, sure. Yeah, people, you can't un-OG. It's not how it works. All right. I won't get it. I've gone through this in all my past videos. It's impossible. Okay. It's just, you can't deauthorize. There's all this stuff. If you watch my interview with Ryan Dancy. That's the best one. That's the one you want to see. Okay, wait. I skipped some. How do you think Mad Mage Crafting? How do you think the OGL orc will affect smaller YouTubers looking to develop and grow an RPG channel? I started my YouTube channel focused on 5e. So that is the number one question. I'm in private discords with all the other YouTubers, and a lot of them are discussing like what to do now. Most of them are just taking off any 5e terms like DM that actually is owned by Hasbro. So they're not calling themselves the DM. They'll call the game masters. And that's what they're called in Pathfinder, GMs, or storyteller or something. So that's the first thing, is I would probably semi-unbrand your stuff from 5e if you really want. And then how to develop and grow a role-playing channel. I don't know, man. Unfortunately, it took me, I've been doing this for 5.5 years, and as my friends said, who are all following me, they're like, oh, Knight's the Last Call. He's the one who said it. He says, so you're just a daily show now, eh? Yeah, I'm daily now. He's the one who said it. He goes, yeah, if you want to grow your channel and get 10,000 subscribers in 5 days, A, break a story that will define and change role-playing games forever. B, be the linchpin, tip of the spear, epicenter of that story. And C, do a YouTube channel. There you go. That's how you do it. You just got to stick with it, man. That's what I did. I've been doing this for 5.5 years, and we were nobodies, and we were like just a small little channel. And, you know, we were very, very big in the Pathfinder community, but everyone outside of Pathfinder didn't know who we were. And then right place, right time. And my experience with corporations and finance really paid off. And suddenly I was able to shine, because it's very, very hard. You know, there's 500 channels that are going to be like 5 ways to make your fighter better. You know, I can do that too, but then it gets lost in the noise. But there weren't a lot of people there's not a lot of people out there who have corporation and corporate experience with Fortune 500 companies and have lawyers on staff, and I do. And I knew this was our time to shine and to start talking about it. Wow, you like how I sound? Wow, no one likes the way I sound. I actually have it going through some filters. My mic is a mod mic. And the reason I use a mod mic, the mod mic is what we use on our podcast. I actually I know everyone here has like those mics, like this, like the cardio mics and stuff. I can't use that because I live in a house with two dogs and kids, and it's very noisy here. And so do actually most of the people on my podcast. They have very noisy environments. The reason why I use a mod mic is the mod mic is designed for like sporting events. And so when I decided to do a podcast, we said, okay, let's find something that's very good in loud environments. So that's why I use mod mics. It's not as good as, like true was it phantom power mics. Like those are just way better. But if you're going to be in a noisy environment and you want to sound good and you want to do a podcast and you want to do shows like this, mod mic. The other thing is, watch this. I like that a lot. I like that I could like just take it off. That's the only downside of it is I have to wear headphones. Like I can't attach this to the side of my head. So I know if you watch, like 99% of YouTubers don't have headphones on. Like I'm not listening to anything. I need the headphones to hold the mic. So there you go. And I have other mics here. I just can't use them because like my dogs have been barking like crazy and you'd be hearing that. And even if you try to have it just in front of you, it doesn't matter. You'd be hearing it like crazy. So we all use this. Johnny Gadfly, thank you so much, Stephen, for taking genuine leadership role in the RPG community in the wake of the OGL nonsense. Yep, thank you. Yeah, I'm not. What's my live play channel? Roll for Combat. Just go to rollforcombat.com. There you go. Here. There you go. You can see them. You can listen to them there. You can subscribe to the podcast. I put them up. I actually have all of them on YouTube. They're all on YouTube. You can listen to us on YouTube. We don't show us play. The reason is because I have background music and sound effects, and they're edited. They're heavily edited just to make it go fast. One of my biggest issues with actual plays is they're very slow. So what I do is we'll take maybe 3 hours and once I take out all the ums and ahs and like looking up rules, it'll usually come down to about an hour and a half. So it's fast. It's like really, 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 really fast. So that's what I do. So there we go. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people I know were very, very frightened to go forward with this. And I wasn't. And, it's right place, right time. That's all. Seriously, that's all it was, is that, a lot of people were frightened, and I saw what was happening. I literally came back from vacation. I'm like, oh my God, is this what's going on? And I was talking to other friends of mine and publishers, and they're all freaking out, and they're all scared. I called up my lawyer and I was like, what do you think? And he's like, go for it. And it's like, and if they call you, have them call me. I'm like, okay. And then I did. So, and again, I'm not trying to pat myself in the back, but I've been through this a lot, so I'm not that worried. Tiger Eyes. Hey, Tiger. Tiger gave away a free... Oh, I got to send those out. Oops, let me write a note. Kind of forgot. Send out players box. Whoops. Question, where do you recommend finding an editor in both the terms of game content and websites, likely separate? Ooh. I don't know, because I'm my own editor. I would say just get friendly. Go to a Discord channel. Go like to Roll for Combat or one of the bigger Discord channels and just start talking to people. And that's really, you just have to get these little communities going. I mean, the only person that works for me full time is Mark. Everyone else I use is freelance, and I found them through just talking and word of mouth. And either they contacted me or I contacted them, and I try them out. I usually try them out on something small, and if it works out, then we go to something big. There you go. So that's how you do it. There's no magic answer. I know but you just got to do it. Okay. When I was in video games, everyone would come up to me and say, hey, I got a great idea for a video game. And I would say, yeah, everyone has a great idea for a video game. That's not the problem. You got to do it. That's the problem. And people come to me, I think we have like 510 episodes of our podcast up by now. And they're like, I want to do a podcast. I'm like, great. I'm telling you right now, the first three are going to be really easy. Come to me when you're up to your 50th episode or your 100th. It's freaking work, man. It's work and it's a pain. You got to really keep that in mind. That's why a lot of these end after 5, 10, 15 episodes, because they forget how much it's work. It's just work. So how do you get this done? If you want to find editors, you're not going to find an editor in 2 hours. That's my favorite line from oh, I can't remember. You know what I'm talking about. But at the end of Pilgrim, yeah, was it Scott Pilgrim? It's the end of Scott Pilgrim Saves the World. He's like, and the bad guy Gideon is like, you know how long that took me to do and gather this and get this all together? 2 hours. Yeah, that's not how the real world works. That's not how the real world works. And in fact, there's an amazing documentary in the history of Pixar that was done when Steve Jobs was still alive. And at the end of it, Steve Jobs says, and I always think of this, he goes, the amazing thing about overnight successes is that they don't happen overnight. And he goes on to explain, it's like Pixar was this, quote, overnight success with Toy Story. The whole point of the documentary is that it shows how long and how much work they put in to do that. And even myself, Roll for Combat, I've been around 5.5 years. 5.5 years. Most of you have probably never heard of me or seen me before this week. That's like, oh, he came out of nowhere. No, I've been doing this for 5.5 years. Now people found us, and that's what you got to do. I mean, you're not going to get this done, and you're not going to, unless you're insanely lucky, it's not going to happen where you just do this and then suddenly you are an overnight success. Did you notice that the small scale Roll20, there's not one product from D&D on the small scale? Nope, I did not, but I'll take a look at it. I didn't look at the small scale. All right, let's see. We got some more questions. A lot of people are moving on to Star. Yeah, I love Starfinder. I loved it. I loved Starfinder, and I played a lot of it. I probably played about 100 sessions, but I just like Pathfinder way better. That's just me. Am I the Red asks, are you the source of the leaked OGL? Yes. I'm the apps. We're the source. We're the ones that came out with it first. Even before Linda, we came out with it before them by a day. We were on air live. If you see our video, and the links are below, I think, you can see the video where we just we found it. It was just happening live on the air, and we're reading it. And then I got the OGL and I leaked it to everyone. So yes, we were the original ones. What do you think to decompress and give your mind amidst of all this craziness? What do I do? I work. I know, that's me. I work. I'm actually gonna relax. I'm going away tonight, and I'll be out tomorrow and Monday, and I'm just gonna bring, you know what I'm gonna do? I'll show you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna bring my Steam Deck and play, here we go. What am I gonna play? What am I playing on my Steam Deck? Tales of Arise. That is what I'm doing. I'm going to bring my Steam Deck and play Tales of Arise. I'm about probably 2/3 the way through. So that's what I'm going to do. Freaking, by the way, I love this thing. This is like my favorite thing in the world. I've stopped playing my Switch. I only play my Steam Deck. I actually try to get everything onto Steam Deck. It's so freaking fantastic. Dave, everyone has a great idea. You either make it happen or be willing to do the work no one else. Yeah, that's it. Everyone has ideas. Everyone. Well, source in that they revealed it and they probably didn't send it around. I revealed it and I sent it around. I didn't send it to everyone, but go to ogl.battlezoo.com. There you go. Let's see. Alpha Me says, I discovered the Roll for Combat Starfinder actual play podcast a month before the OGL stuff because I was interested in learning Starfinder and running Dead Suns. By the way, any advice in running that? No, Dead Suns? Ooh, I haven't read Dead Suns in a while. I mean, I haven't looked at it. It's pretty easy to run, and they just came out with a hardcover book that compiled the whole thing and cleaned it up. I would suggest if you're going to run Dead Suns, just get the single compilation, and it's pretty easy. It's a pretty easy adventure to run. So I don't think you really have to worry. I mean, if you want, listen to our podcast and see how we do it, and that will help. I actually think it's very single. Oh, Legal Eagle posted his video. Okay, so Legal Eagle. Yeah, I actually spoke to Legal Eagle. I don't think I'm going to be in anything, but he's going to cover about OGL. Let's see. Can you run Founder into Steam Deck? You know what? I haven't tried. Probably. I love... okay, let's see, Steam. Yeah, Steam Deck is a portable gaming PC. It's actually just a PC. Okay, this thing is not to become a Steam Deck channel. This thing is a freaking PC. You can install anything on it. You can install Windows. You can use it as a work computer. I mean, I wouldn't suggest it, but you can. It's a PC, and it is. I love this. Here, I'll show you. For those of you who don't know what a Steam Deck is, I'll just show you real quick. I'll go to the library. See, like here's the library of all my games, and then you can just. It's also this beautiful. It's like incredible. So it's integrated. Here's all the games you can play. Let's see how many I have. It's like, and then you can just select it and just start playing. It's so good. The only thing that's a kind of a pain is the battery life, because the battery life sucks. But that's why you carry around this thing. And this is my battery, then I spare battery, so then I'm okay. Let's see. Someone wrote, what do you think about Starfinder 2E? I love the current Starfinder books, but a lot of friends want the 3-action economy. Yeah, so Starfinder was written in less than a year, and what happened is, the story is that they knew Pathfinder 2nd Edition was going to come out, and when Pathfinder 2nd Edition was going to be announced, the day that Pathfinder 2nd Edition was announced, the sales would go to 0. And they needed something to keep them going for at least a year or two. So they decided to come out with Starfinder. And so they wrote the Starfinder rules and published it in less than a year. So that is insane. Not only was Starfinder good, but it was a hit. So it really helped them. Not only did it help them weather the storm of lost sales because of the announcement of Pathfinder 2nd Edition, but it also just became a hit in its own right because so many people were interested in goofy. It's called it's like goofy science fiction, you know. It's the Guardians of the Galaxy. Also, it came out when Guardians of the Galaxy was hot, so it was like right place, right time. So is there any news? No, there's no news. There's no new news. There's not going to be, I think. That's why we're just chilling. That's why this is a relaxing video, and we're just talking about whatever you guys want to talk about. If you have super chats, do like and subscribe. If you have super chats, I'll answer those right away. When you say Starfinder was an overnight success, it was a year-long success. Anyhow, back to your original question, Starfinder is a little rough in the edges. It was definitely, you could see where it's rough. They have put out supplemental books since then, and those books have helped fix some of the rules. They're not going to come out with a 2nd edition, not anytime soon. The rules are much better now, and more importantly, this is a weird thing that happened with Starfinder, is they have this thing called the Society, Starfinder Society, and they're much smaller adventures, and you can play them with anyone. And Starfinder Society exploded. And I don't mean like it exploded like a couple thousand people. I'm talking about thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people, and it just exploded. And it's very big, and it's still very big. A lot of people like to play. I think it exploded because you could play a Starfinder, um, a Starfinder game in like 5 hours and have it done. So I feel like it's an appetizer. I feel like Starfinder is used as something to play in between sessions. And playing a full long campaign is a little bit more difficult. So there we go. Someone hates Trick Shot. Yeah, Trick Shot. I know Trick Shot's a good one. And there's a it's a kind of a broken system, Starfinder, in some ways, but it is so goofy and it's so silly and so much fun. It's hard to be angry at the system. And quite frankly, it's just fun. It's just fun. It's a great fun game. Um, but it is a little rough around the edges. But you know what? It's fine. It's fine. We played Dead Sun from beginning to end and had a freaking great time. So, and the reaction economy in Starfinder, I don't think they're going to come. They don't need to come out with a Starfinder Second Edition for 3 action economy. They can just add it. All right, that's all they need to do. So don't worry about that. Yeah, if you're switching from Spelljammer to Starfinder's easy. Oh yeah, Mothership. I don't have the rules. Everyone freaking loves Mothership. I got to get the rules. I want to check it out. Have you ever played Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay? Yes, I have. I bought the book when it came out when I was in college. I was very excited. I like the art in it quite a bit. I haven't played that in 30 years, so I don't remember a lot about it. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. What I hear about it is kind of insane. And it's like totally nuts. So that's yeah, I have not played in a long time. I pretty much have played like I'm one of these people, if you notice, I play everything, man. I don't know how I have the time. I run 2 companies. I have 2 kids. I have 2 dogs. And I also somehow play video games, watch everything on TV, and do this. It does help I don't sleep that much. So, and I also, I don't have an office to go to. I work at home and I'm in front of my computer. Unfortunately, probably like 20 hours a day, 18 hours a day. So that's kind of how. And my TV's right there. My computer's right here. My books are right there. I have my own private office. So, any thoughts on the Dresden Files RPG as someone new to TT? I actually don't love those books. I tried to get into them. I didn't really enjoy them that much. I didn't try the RPG. I know people love the Dresden Files. The thing is, there's so many Dresden File type RPGs out there. I think what I would say is that try it. I mean, it's not a huge commitment. It just isn't. So you can try that out. And I would say try it out. And the big advantage of something like that is you get to live in that world and play in that world. Like, for example, I just bought the Aliens RPG that I'm getting today. And I know nothing about it, but I freaking love the world of Alien and I want to see how they explored it. And that's actually the nice thing about RPGs is that a lot of people just read them just to see how people turn something like Space Marines into a mechanic. And they have to think about if I'm a level 1 or level 10 or 20 Space Marine, how does that work? Like Blade Runner. Blade Runner, not a lot has been shown in that game, sorry, in that world. So an RPG allows you to really breathe life into these worlds. And many times I'll read these books and play the games just a few times, but it's enough because now I just get to see the expansiveness. I actually just got this in the mail just today, Monster of the Week. So I'll also read this over the next couple of days. Everyone says it's a lot of fun. And I love monsters. It's my favorite thing in gaming is monsters. Marcus Katz, I just ordered everything Pathfinder 2 from Paizo in print thanks to you and Mark's stream, or Mark S's enthusiasm. Thank you. I may design a solo city. There you go. Yeah, it's great. Freaking great. Let's see. If you have a favorite adventure from all any system you played, like favorite of all time. Yep. Oh, you want me to answer it? Yeah, favorite adventure of all time, Age of Worms. There you go. It's it's also I count it as one adventure because it's an adventure path. It's 12 adventures, and it goes from beginning to end. It's one adventure, and that's it. It's my favorite one. And oh, I meant Jewel of the Indigo Isle, my adventure, my favorite of all time. Second adventure, Age of Worms. Jewel of Indigo Isle, though, if this is not one of the best adventures you've ever seen, I have the best artwork. We have an art for almost every single, something like 95%, 98% of the NPCs have artwork with them because I hate it. I hate it when there's not artwork with an NPC. We figured out how you can play this 100 different ways. The maps are done by by Blando. You can look up his maps. He's a freaking legend. I have the three of the most experienced writers of adventures in history of the world who wrote it. And I know people have been playing it and they love it. And I think it's pretty damn good. And you can play it right now. First adventure, first chapter, free, totally free. Have I ever tried Savage World? It looks pretty simple, crunchy systems, and I was looking for opinions. I've not tried Savage Worlds. I know a lot of people like it. I actually do want to look into it. I've not tried it. Oh, here we go. Oh, yeah, Dresden uses Fate, and a lot of people like it a lot. Yeah, I've not tried Dresden, but I just don't like the world that much. That's probably why I didn't try it. So, oh, yeah, Cyberpunk, I want to try. I've been playing Cyberpunk since the early days, back when it first came out. And Jewel is a free chapter 1 PDF. Yes. So if you go to our website, go to battlezoo.com, um you can get the free chapter, and it comes with a whole bunch of extras. It comes with a ton of things for you. It comes with everything you need to play. It's great. Oh, yeah. Mark said there's going to be not be any more streams. Sorry. Oh yeah, so the oven. Okay, so if you look on the overlay, you can see these are the ancestries from the year of ancestries. So we have a demon in the upper left, we have a doppelganger in the bottom left, we have a slime in the bottom right, we have a mimic on the bottom. Sorry, the slime is the bottom left. We have a mimic on the bottom right, and the mimic is he's an oven mimic. We have, I think that's an Oni. Is that an Oni on the bottom right, and then another doppelganger in the top right. So that's the actual art. Why am I out of focus? I don't understand. I'm gonna get a new camera. I don't know why. This is a very high-end camera. I keep going out of focus. I have no idea why, and it's driving me freaking crazy. Gotta buy a new camera. Any new advice for a new Cyberpunk GM coming from DCC? No, because I haven't played the new Cyberpunk yet. DCC, Dungeon Crawl Classics. I love Dungeon. I actually have every issue of the old ones, not the new ones, because that's too many. I used to buy them and read them, and then I worked for Goodman Games. And that was my first job actually in the industry. Is I used to work for the DCC tournament in Gen Con, and Adrian Palmer, who ran it, lived right near me, and then he became one of the players in my campaign. And also, he then played online because he moved to Arizona, and we played. What did we play? We played Carrying Crown from beginning to end, and he had a really cool character. He had a dwarf, and he had a warhammer, and he never updated or upgraded it's a nymph. Sorry, Mark said the bottom right is a nymph. I couldn't tell if it was an Oni or a nymph. So switch off autofocus. Oh, that's not a bad idea. Maybe that is why it's doing it. Well, the autofocus is usually off. Let me see. So you're saying turn off autofocus? Okay, I'll turn it off. Then am I in focus here? I can't tell. I can't tell if it's better or worse. Here, I'll turn it to there. Oh, I see what's going on. Okay, that's definitely out of focus. All right, there we go. I'll apply. Is that better? I can't tell. I can't tell. I gotta fix this thing. Um, yes, Mark, Linda, and Mark Seifter are going to build a monster in real time based on the votes in chat. I'm going to leave in 45 minutes and everyone can go to Mark Seifter's stream and help him build a monster in real time. Who moved to Arizona? Yeah, that's Adrian Palmer, and he ran Dungeon Crawls Classics for Goodman Games forever. So that's who. He's been there for a while, actually. And he was also in my online campaign for Carrying Crown. So back to your original question was I've not played the new Cyberpunk, so I can't help you. So sorry about that. Yeah, DCC is awesome. I actually like was it the MCC, the Mutant Crawl Classics even more because it's freaked up. And let's see. Join channel today. The lens is breathing. Most likely use different auto. Oh, okay. Is it doing that? Is it doing the breathing? I hate that. I'm not watching it, so I can't tell if it's breathing. So I'll turn off. I'm gonna fix this. I know I'm like kind of out of focus now. If I go back, I'm in focus. It seems to want to focus on my books. It doesn't want to seem to focus on me. But I'm gonna fix that. So no one seems to be complaining. I think before the age of COVID, everyone wanted everything to be perfect, and after the age of COVID, people didn't seem to care. I really miss recommending. Okay, I really want to recommend you Nurishima and Mass Effect D20. Nurishima is post potato. Trez are really good. Okay. Yeah, Mass Effect. I love Mass Effect. I'd say that's in my Mass Effect 2 is like my top 5 games of all time. And I love Mass Effect. I have not tried the D20 system, and Nurishima I've actually never heard of, so I'll take a look at that. And yeah, DCCs are great. I love the DCCs, but the problem with DCC is that your characters will die in like 5 minutes. So, like, DCC is designed to be just insanely brutal, and that's just the way it works. Is that if you make like 10 characters and then 5 of them die. So yeah. Let's see. Probably my scrolls all over the place when I see this happening. Oh, a bit heavy for a portable. Oh, hey, Jason's on here. For this, you think this is heavy? I don't think this is heavy at all, Jason. Um, I liked it. But actually, I have a dock, and I use the dock, and then I just play with my controller. So I sit there like leaving over. But no, this isn't that heavy. I'm used to it. It's also very well. It's deformed really well. It has like nice. The back is good. I really like the way the back is, so it's easy to use. Um, Cyberpunk riffs. Oh wait, maybe it's not letting you down. The roll for combat isn't letting me download the dungeon ancestry. It's at Battlezoo. So the dungeon ancestry is. What did you select? I just updated the store, so let me know what you're selecting if you're having trouble. So that's where the product is. So Amusement Overlord, give me more info because they'll look into it and fix it. But it should be working. People are texting me. Oh, yeah. Jason is saying that the Starfinder ship combat was a little underwhelming. They redid the ship combat, Jason. We never saw it, but they redid it. And supposedly there's a lot more to do. The biggest problem with ship combat is it was a little underwhelming and there was nothing for magic users to use. So that was the big thing. But they changed it and they added new functionality. They made it a little smoother. I never tried it though. So Mass Effect 4, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know they're making it. The universe is really good. I will say I love the Mass Effect universe. I was a BioWare fan. I would play anything BioWare would come out with until kind of recently, but oh boy, anything BioWare was the jam until they got bought out and then they kind of got eh. But I love BioWare. And Carrying Crown. Yep, Carrying Crown was a lot of fun. The f-stop is too wide open. Yeah, there's a lot of things with this camera. And the thing is, Mark has the exact same one as me, and he always looks good, and I always look a little fuzzy. I'm also zoomed in quite a bit. It could be that I'm zoomed in a huge amount because what ends up happening is the camera's only like it's literally there. Like that's how far away the camera is. I think I gotta put the I can't really. There's no more space for me. I need the camera to be further away. And I could show more of my room, but it's sort of crappy past that side of the room. So that's the one thing. Uh, Dragon Age 4. Yes, I'm very excited about Dragon Age 4 myself, and I like Dragon Age 1. I did not. I know everyone loved Dragon Age 2. I hated Dragon Age 2. I didn't get that far. But Dragon Age 3, ooh. Dragon Age 3 is really, really, really good. I will say I love that game. It's a little long though. That's my only concern with it. Is it kind of was getting a little long in the tooth by the time you get to the end of that game. I'm actually scrolling back up to see if there was anything. I saw someone like tried to give me a chat. Someone was trying to get a chat in but couldn't afford a super chat, so I'm trying to find your chat. The thing is, Pathfinder Second Edition is not that crunchy. It really isn't. It seems crunchy, but then once you get into it, it's really quite simple. It is at the beginning. And I will say, when you first start, it seems like there's a lot of numbers and math, but it's really not. When writing ancestries, is there a rule set or can you fluff it a little? Not for Pathfinder. Pathfinder Second Edition, we always say the math is tight. That's the joke. The joke is the math is tight, which means that you can't fudge it. That's basically what it comes down to. But you don't have to because the math is so tight and the rules are so tight. You just follow the rules and you'll be good. Oh, so yeah, you can't buy Year of Monsters out the VTT. As of now, you can't. We're gonna probably look into that, and we might we're gonna be doing a car club, most likely on the Discord. Mark knows more about this, and everyone is gonna join in, and we're gonna buy the PDFs together, and we'll give it at a discounted price. We're doing something. It was an experiment, and oh, did I see Legal Eagles video in the OGL? Nope. I heard it came out during the stream. But I will look at it. And I mean, can I watch it now? I have to sign up though. Yeah, I have to sign in. Oh, I'll sign in. Maybe we can do that together. We can watch this video. I'll create account. My 10,000th account. Bad someone designs websites, bad website design, they don't have a way to confirm your password. You always want to have two fields because if you miswrite it, then oh, you got to pay for this. Oh, I'm not paying for this. I don't care that much. What is on this? I've never heard of Nebula. Can anyone just put stuff up on here? Or do you have to be like, is it like you put stuff up on here and you get like a payment or something? I don't know anything about Nebula. But I'll probably just wait. I was thought maybe we can, whatever. You know what? I'll pay the $5. Fine. You'll get my $5. $2. I want my $2. Better off dead. You know the little girl in Better Off Dead? I worked with her for a long time. No, not Better Off Dead. She was in One Crazy Summer. So. Fine. All right. Let's all watch this together. I don't know if it's 22 minutes long. All right. Well, this is going to be a long video, but what the hell? What else are we doing? We're just hanging out. Let's watch his video and see what we see. Am I allowed to do that? I'm probably not allowed to do that, but it's fine. It's fine. All right, let me fix this a little. There we go. Fixing this up. We can all watch what he has to say together. It's a little watch party. We're watching OGL 1.1 and Legal Eagle. What he has to say. Oops. Is that good? Whoop. There. Made it as big as I can. Put it there. And here we go. Let's start this sucker.
Dungeons & Dragons has altered the deal. Pray they do not alter it any further. Because for years, Wizards of the Coast, which publishes Dungeons & Dragons, has operated under an open gaming license, an OGL, that allowed people to create and profit from unofficial content in the Dungeons & Dragons universe. Or does it? It's time to think like a rules lawyer. The idea is that the OGL is a legal framework that allows people to use the rules and ideas of the role-playing games.
People are telling me I shouldn't show this. Yeah, I probably won't, but it does look like, people were like, oh, don't show it because that's kind of against their user experience, see their terms of use. One person, no downloads to post somewhere else, copyright, no comments, only uses service. All right, how about this? I only showed a couple seconds. If you want to see this video, you can go to Nebula and watch it now. And it's got some cool things in here. So it looks like he's going to go through it and looks like a nice, good video up. See our friends in here. We got some buddies, some pals, got some other things in here, product identity. So check this out. I will give you the link. Yeah, I can't show you, but I'll put it this way. I will show you. I only show, you're allowed to show a couple seconds, and I showed it just enough without getting in trouble. But here we go. I'm just giving you a little preview. But there you go. So you can see what it's all about, and I would subscribe. And I'm going to watch it later. So there you go. There we go. You Nebula, you got a free ad from me. And for $5, you can watch this video. So I'm going to watch it after. And you just got a new subscriber. Look at that. It worked. So, and I didn't do anything. Oh yeah, so Jason's telling me it's going to be on YouTube in a couple days, which I mean, I knew. I just didn't know how long, whether a couple days is a day or a week. So, yeah, but I'm going to watch it. So after this is over, wow. Damn, his quality of his video is fantastic. That is someone who has a real editor. As opposed to me who does this in his room. The funny thing is I'm actually used to I started out at video. My first job in the entertainment industry was MTV. I know, like I'm one of these people, like sounds like it's impossible that this I have a weird life, okay? Jason McDonald, you're in chat. Is my life insane or what? Jason's known me for 34 years, and he knows that my life is like the craziest ever. I worked at MTV. I worked in Fortune 500 companies. I did the Harry Potter website. I hang out with celebrities with my brother, and now I do this. I have a crazy life, okay? I have a weird life, man. I worked in the World of Warcraft. I'm just I'm just in the right place at the right time. I don't know. I'm just one of these people. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely check out this Nebula thing right after we're done here. So yeah, everyone's like, "Don't show it, don't show it." I'm like, "Good idea, good idea." Ever enjoy Guild Wars? Yes, I loved Guild Wars for a while. It was a weird game. I played the original Guild Wars a lot. I didn't understand it, but I played it. I tried the new one many times, and I can't really get into it. I've tried. I tried quite a bit. So yeah, I've tried that. What else? Oh, so back to what we were saying. Because of the fact that you get a lot, it's you get it with the Foundry. You get 13 PDFs. You get you get a ton of digital assets. You get lots of different tokens. You get Path Builder for free, and you get to meet with me and Mark on a monthly basis to give your ideas and talk back about what you think of the ancestry and how it can be changed. If you think of it as a subscription service, okay, it's really less than $10 a month. That's really what it is. That's why it's a weird experiment, because you get a lot, and in the end it's going to be 200 plus pages of content. So that's why we're doing it. I don't know if I can do it as a subscription. I was going to maybe try that too, but even if I did that, it's an experiment. I'm trying an experiment here. It's something new. The only way you could do it is buy it all at once right now, and that's Jason McDonald. Steve is the most Dos Equis. Sorry, let me say it again. Steve is the most Dos Equis, most interesting man in the world. Nerd version. That is true. I have a people can't even something. Dude, I was there at the beginning of Magic the Gathering. I have a 4-digit DCI. I just I don't understand it. And now I'm in front of this. It's weird. Valheim, best PC game ever. I freaking love Valheim. We played it a lot until we ran out of content. So that's the problem. But I hear they just updated it. But I love it. I love Valheim. We played it multiplayer a lot, and I played that to death. The only problem is I kind of ran out of it. So what are you talking about subscription? Year of Monsters. So the Year of Monsters on our Battlezoo.com website, it's called the Year of Monsters because you're going to get monsters all year. You get one new monster, playable ancestry monster a month, and they're long with a lot of information and lore and detail. And then at the end of the year, you're going to get an expanded version with everything. You get a ton of content, and that is because that's what the cost goes to, because people are like, oh, it's a book. It's not a book. If it was a book, it would be less. You get just ridiculous amount of content over the course of a year. So that's why, it's basically like, $8 a month. That's really what it comes down to. And it's sort of like a club you join. So oh, you signed up for RPG Superstar, but it's been like 45 minutes for the confirmation to sign in. That should not happen. Let me think. Double check your spam. Let me contact. That's the first I've heard of an issue, so double check your spam. I'm going to talk to my IT guy while we're talking, and I'll make sure. I'm going to write him. Hey, dude. Can you check that RPGSuperstar.com is working and sending out emails correctly, please? That is what happens when you have a company and you have IT people. Oh, duh, I'll check. Yeah, check. You're the first person to say that. It's not that I don't believe you. Pillars of Eternity. I have 140 hours in Pillars of Eternity. Yeah, I loved Pillars of Eternity. I couldn't get into the sequel though. I didn't really love it, so sorry about that. It's in your spam. I was gonna say something mean, but I'm not. I'm gonna pat myself on the back. I know how to build websites. Sorry. Hey man, it's all good. I'm just making fun of you. People here. Nebula. Oops. $5. You guys have given me $5 in super chat, so I don't care. Are we gonna create our own TTRPG? Well, we could. Mark Seifter co-wrote Pathfinder Second Edition. We are good friends with Owen Casey Stevens, who co-wrote Starfinder. We got a lot of people in our circle who have written and designed and published some very popular TTRPGs. And the world of Alucard, which is the world of Battlezoo, we have been building out. So we have a setting, we have a god system, and we have a lot of things. So maybe, not yet, but it is in the works if I wanted it to be. So there you go. Yeah, you can play as a dungeon completely for free. You can go to battlezoo.com and get that totally for free right now for 5e or Pathfinder. By the way, that's what I did this morning. I put in a new option because a lot of people were downloading things for both. They were saying they were buying it for Pathfinder and then they were buying it for 5e. So now you can buy it for both, and I gave you a small discount if you buy it for both. You'll get a little bit off. So there you go. Well, it'd be cool if all the third-party publishers came together to create this system. That's called Too Many Cooks. I actually think that's not as great of an idea as you think. Too many cooks, and they were all going to have different ideas, and it's just it's kind of up. Jason is, I for one welcome our Gamayan overlords. That's right. Gamayan are the parrot people in our game, so you can check that out. So if I did do a RPG, then Gamayan, actually everything. One of the cool things about one of the coolest things about the Battlezoo setting is that humans and humanoids, not common. They're actually, I don't even think we have no humans or humanoids mentioned. Well, we have humanoids, let me rephrase that. We don't have like humans and core races like elves and dwarfs and gnomes. They're not in any of our books. We go the other way. Mark asked me, what's my opinion of narrative games like Cortex Prime? Personally, I think they're okay. A lot of people like narrative games. I think they're good to play with people who are interested in narrative adventures. But for someone like myself, we like crunch, and we like battle maps, and we like tactics. So myself and my players, we would not play them. If we played them, we play them once. And that's the thing. Like Dungeons and Dragons 4th edition, we really liked it. Okay. I hated the role-playing aspect and everything else, but the combat was fantastic, and I like that. So that probably tells you about me and my core group, and like the types of games we like to play. Like we like crunch. So as a thought experiment, we've been creating a community-driven 5e variant called 5.75. And we create a live stream. Yeah, Level Up by Ian Press is 5.75. more or less. Yeah, I haven't done Cortex. Yeah, Mark says I haven't done Cortex. I've never played Cortex, Mark, but I've played other of those type games at Gen Con. I've even run a few. And like I play, again, it's not my jam. The thing that I like crunch. That's my jam. Someone's asking, will we create a more survival-based class based off Gary Gygax's Dragon Magazine, number 63 Dragon Magazine Barbarian. By the way, my favorite 1E class of all time is the Barbarian. I have that issue. Came out when Conan the Barbarian came out, and I love it. And the first time I ever saw a D12 really used. What book are the monster parts crafting system in? Amusement Overlord. That is in the Battlezoo Bestiary. So in the Battlezoo Bestiary, we have an entire system that was created by myself and Mark Seifter for 5e or Pathfinder that works. It's fast. There's other people who created. I'm not going to throw people under the bus. I'm going to kind of throw them under the bus. There's other people who have tried to create these systems. The problem with the systems is they're very hard and convoluted, and they don't work with everything. Our system is so easy that I have a 4-step page. That's it. 4 steps of how to use it if you're the GM, and 4 steps of how to use it if you're the player. That's how easy it is. Step 1, slay monster. Step 2, gather ingredients. Step 3, refine item. And step 4, imbue item. Hold on 1 second. Oh, okay. What, chopped? I already did. Yeah. No. Yeah, I ordered for me and him. Yeah. Sorry. That's lunch. It's lunch. So, so anyhow, yeah, it's in here. Here's what it is. It's incredibly simple to use. It's perfectly balanced. And the best part about it, it works with anything. Any monster. Any. You have homebrew monster? Works. You have monsters in a bestiary? Works. Anything. It doesn't matter. And it's fast, and it's easy, and it's quick. And it changes the game in a way I've never seen before, because suddenly all your gear gets personalized, and you're not just wearing armor. You're wearing dragon bone armor that you killed in the battle with the dragon on a volcano, and you give it a name. And when we were using the monster part system in our home game, it was everyone suddenly, their characters were all decked out and personalized. It wasn't just that you had a +1 sword. It wasn't just that you had armor. It wasn't just that you had magic items. Every single item had a story. Every item on your body came from something, and you remembered and were able to tell the story of where it came from. So if you're into monsters and monster slaying, and you want to try out Monster Hunter in your game, you can. What is your preferred stack for building websites? Ruby on Rails. That is our preferred stack. You think you'd get me? Come on. You just got to try a little harder. But yeah, we do most of our code in Ruby. We've been using it since the inception. It is getting a little long in the tooth, and we're starting to do some .NET coding. I used to do a lot in the day, but it's kind of, I heard it got better, and I have some of my developers are really into it. Sorry. So yeah, and that, so we do mostly Ruby on Rails right now. There was another one called Elixir, I believe, that we're starting to fool around with. The problem is that we're very careful when we try new systems or new frameworks, because we did this in the past, is that I created a very big website using MongoDB, and it turned out the developers were really excited about it, and then we developed it, and then they didn't like it. And I'm like, well, too late, buddy. You got to maintain that site for the next 5 years. So you really, really should. Yeah, I know. You're saying Ruby, really? Because I'll tell you why we're getting off Ruby. I will say that. The reason we use Ruby is because it's just the right size for our projects. It's not too big and it's not too small. That's why. So it's a good size. And as I was saying, the problem is that when we tried out other systems, like I was saying, we used MongoDB, and it was good. Actually, it was great because this system was a gargantuan database and it was fast, but it was a pain to work with. And then we had to maintain the site for 5 years, and no one wanted to do it. So there you go. So Java all the way. We actually program. Yeah, we Postgres. We use everything. We use Java. We use Postgres. You name it. Done Oracle systems. It's yeah. We use Python. We use everything. We will use, because I mostly will rebuild or update existing systems. So whatever they use is what we use. If we are building it from scratch, we have our own frameworks and we have our own models. So we'll mostly use Ruby because we have so much pre-written code. It's a little easier. And yeah, and that's the problem, is that if we try, so my coders were like, hey, I want to try out a new system. Can we try out MongoDB? And I was like, all right, but you guys are going to have to maintain this for the next 5 years. And I'm like, no, we like it. And then they built it and like, yeah, we don't like this. I was like, be careful what you ask for. You wanted to try out a new system. Well, guess what? Now you're stuck with it. And that was the last time they did that. And now they like, because everyone wants to try out the new hotness. So we come across not as much PHP as you think, because I build pretty big systems, and we don't. Most big systems are not on PHP, but we do a little bit of IIS and mostly Apache, almost all Linux. Yeah, I'm actually going to finish this up. I'm getting lunch, so I'm going to do this for 10 more minutes, and then I'm done. And then everyone should go to Mark's channel. I'll give you the URL. But again, we're not, we're just talking, just relaxing, hanging out. Yeah, right. If I'm using my own pre-built tools and components, it makes sense to keep using them. And we know, right. Like, we will build the same system for the same for different clients. So it's easier for us to modify our existing systems. And we started out with Ruby, so we continue to use Ruby. So there you go. Why don't we send emails en masse to the CEO of the WotC division president and let them know? No, they don't care. Don't send emails. You want to get in touch with them? Everyone raid Mark. So what you have to do is call them. There's literally only 2 ways that they're going to pay attention to you. 2. You cancel your D&D Beyond subscription. You don't play Magic. Okay, 3. You don't play Magic, at least Arena. Play that card game, that's fine. But don't play Arena. Don't buy cards online. And most importantly, call them. Because don't send even snail mails. They could ignore that. But there's legal reasons they can't ignore phone calls. And if they get enough phone calls, like, they can take your letter and throw it out, or they can give it to another department. Your email can just go to customer service, or they'll just redirect it. But phone calls have to get logged, and they have a lot more, because you're actually talking to someone. An email they can throw away, a letter they can throw away. Phone calls take up time, they take up resources. Someone has to log it, someone has to record it. That is annoying. And then you have people who are then going to, talk about it in board meetings, saying, we're getting calls for this, we're getting calls for that. Oh, yeah. If you have a free account, you have to do a ticket. Is your experience when in WordPress good? So believe it or not, I use WordPress a lot. I built I built the website for WestMed Group. WestMed Group is the largest private practice in the United States, and I built their entire website in WordPress. That was interesting because we had to write a lot of custom tools. You can book appointments and look, and if you're curious, go to the WestMed Group. I don't even know. It's not westmed.com. It's WestMed Group. There's even like time tracker on the front, and like waiting times, the entire site's done in WordPress. It's mostly because they can maintain it updated in the back. That's why. So yeah, you can do pretty powerful WordPress sites. I'd say about 25% of the sites I do are WordPress because it's just easier. It's just so much easier, and the tools are all there. So I would say if you have a site where the clients have to maintain it, that's when you use a WordPress site. And someone here said, Steven, can you please convince Paizo? Okay. I've spoken to Paizo many times about the WordPress. That's WordPress. Their website. I've spoken to their technology people. I won't give you the whole history, but the problem is the site was built like in 2008, and unfortunately they are trying to keep all the architecture from 2008, including all the message boards on the site. And for them to try to migrate all of that technology onto a new system is a freaking nightmare. And it's incredibly hard. It's definitely outside their budget because I do migrations, and migrations is like the fastest, easiest, most asinine way to throw away money. Okay? Because you basically are moving. It's basically moving. It's like you're paying for a moving service to move from one site to another. And when you're done, that's it. You get nothing from that money you spent. So let's see. Someone wrote, there are official statements from Critical Role and Penny Arcade. And I just saw, yeah, the thing is they're very, well, Penny Arcade can say anything they want because they don't care. But Critical Role has to be very careful. They're very diplomatic. So WordPress is basically, so anyway, I'll finish that up, is that they're just very diplomatic. Look, they're in a bad position. They probably have half a dozen contracts, if more, with Hasbro, and they have contracts with Amazon, and they have contracts with dozens of people. They can not just say something, and they probably won't, maybe ever, because they have a lot of people they have to appease. That's the problem. Is WordPress just basically PHP CMS? Here's the thing. WordPress, I think, runs 1/3 of all the websites in the world, I believe, are WordPress. It's more or less about 30%. 30%. That's a lot of WordPress websites. It's basically almost, it's like an OGL. It's almost open source at this point, and so many people use it. It's very good and very bulletproof and very strong and can handle pretty much anything. Anything. Oh my God. My homies hate data migration. Oh yeah, my data migration is the worst thing in the world. There's nothing worse than nothing in the world of technology. So trying to migrate the Paizo website, I'll put it this way. If Paizo came to me and said, Steve, we'll give you $10 million to migrate our site to a new site, I might not do it. That's how hard that job would be. That job would be freaking insane. Let's see. Question. Oh, wait, let me get super chat. Do not want to look at Core D20 at subreddit. Have I looked at the Core D20 subreddit? No, actually, I have not. I will add that to my list. I'm not. I look at Reddit. I mostly do a lot more Discord and Twitter right now, but I'm adding it to my list. Oh, dude, you got 8 members. That's not a bad thing, but I'll look at it. I'll still look at it. Am I looking at the right one? Is there literally only 8 members here and only 5 online? That's a small community, buddy. But I will take a look at it. Let's see. I just got the Pathfinder 2nd edition, but Foundry gave me the 5e. It did. Pathfinder version of Battlezoo. All right, send me a message on Discord and I'll take a look at that. That should not have happened. Let me look at that. So anyhow, I'm gonna wrap this up, but Mark, give me your channel again. I always forget it. And then we're all gonna go raid Mark and watch his channel. So send me the thing if you got the wrong one. Some people just put in the wrong order. Not that I blame you if you did. Yep, I'm actually taking some time off because I need to relax. So let's see. Twitch.tv/arcane Mark. There we go. So if everyone wants to watch Mark build a monster. Oh, he's gone. There we go. There we go. So go there. Everyone go there. Everyone go there. Everyone go there. I keep doing it. Go check him out. He's going to build a monster live on the air with you. And the way he does it is that he will give you like 10 options and then everyone votes. And he's going to show you how easy it is to build a monster in Pathfinder by doing it live on the air. So you can watch him do that with Linda. And then you can have fun relaxing building a monster with Mark. And it's a lot of fun. So, and if anyone having issue with Pathfinder Beginning Box and want to learn Pathfinder Second Edition, get it. It's probably, the components alone are probably worth $100. And if you can find it. Oh, by the way, I'm going to leave you with this. How much can I say without getting people in trouble? Pathfinder Second Edition is sold out worldwide, and they are going to be doing new runs just to get it into stores. That's how popular it's been. So if you want to get a physical copy of Pathfinder Second Edition and you're on the fence, get it now, because they're going to be sold out, and it might take a little while to get them again. I'm not trying to freak you guys out. I'm just telling you right now that they are getting sold out worldwide. I know this for an absolute fact, and I know they are going to be getting new versions in the store as fast as possible, but it might take a little while. It might take an extra week or 2 or 3 before they can get in there. So do it now. All right. Anyhow, with that, have a good weekend. I probably won't see anyone until Tuesday at the earliest. And everyone go to Mark's channel right now and watch him build a monster. He's starting in 3 minutes. And I'm going to go have some lunch. And have a good weekend, everybody. I will see ya.